I'm currently studying the BSc for mathematics. What that kind of involves is it's a very modular-based program. So in your first year, you pretty much have sort of set modules, and then you're allowed to develop and go down different paths. As you go higher up, you get more sort of freedom to choose. I chose to study at Queen Mary for sort of a couple of reasons. I originally come from the countryside. I wanted to sort of get away, see the city a bit, but it's quite a big jump to make. So one of the things that drew me to Queen Mary was the fact that we're the only university with a campus in central London. And the second point it actually came down to was just talking to admissions throughout my application and the maths sort of professors and things, and I found they were really helpful. The subjects I'm studying are very broad. I have complete sort of choice. I've kept mine very general because I enjoy doing all the different parts of maths. I have a couple of favourites. In my previous years, I really enjoyed doing some of the computer-based ones for the variety. I didn't like stats when I came to university. I've actually learnt to like it. So that's one thing that can happen, is you can change your taste as you go through. And this year I'm studying some of the finance modules, are quite interesting, as well as combinatorics as well, which is sort of a more abstract way of looking at maths. In a typical lecture, there's pretty much sort of two different ways it can be, I would say. If it's a large class, then normally it will be very much a teacher sort of telling you, learning independent note-taking, and then you have to sort of go away, and the more kind of talking side of the teaching would happen in a tutorial when it's a bit smaller. But if you have a smaller lecture class, which happens in some of the classes, and there's a lot more of kind of the students communicating to the lecturer throughout the lecture, and there's a bit more of a dynamic there. It's not the same as school lessons at all. It's very different. You get treated very differently. One of the big changes is it is down to you mostly. If you don't push yourself, if you don't sort of motivate yourself, the lecturers will contact you, but at the end of the day it is down to you. I think it's one of the big differences. Another thing is you are treated more like an adult. Because, well, you're sort of reaching the end of your teenage years. So there's a different relationship between you and your lecturer. When you're at university, there's many different sort of things you can do outside of your studying. In the past, I've tried things such as the St. John's ambulance service, but I don't currently do that. But I do take part in things like the Art Society, which provides quite a nice sort of contrast to my subject. And outside of just sort of leisure activities, we have things like the past mentoring service, which I was involved in last year. So that's a mentoring service for first years run by second and third year students. And now this year I actually help run the maths branch of it. There are lots of opportunities for work experience whilst you're at university. For instance, I do the student ambassador scheme over here. And what that involves is a lot of people skills. So we do things such as tours, open days, school visits and things. So you get a huge variety of work. The sort of advice I would give to a student who's looking to study mathematics would be just to keep sort of pushing at it, really. If you don't understand something straight away, it's not the end. And usually if you keep pushing and keep trying, and once you break through to sort of finding out how to do it, you will then enjoy it, you'll be able to understand it, and you'll be able to go further and further. It's commitment mostly. Career-wise, for my future, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. But in a way, that's one of the sort of beauties of doing a mathematics degree. It's a very sort of powerful degree to have, and it's also very, very open-ended. So if you're not entirely sure where you want to be, but you really enjoy your subject, you can enter any graduate entry sort of just general job with a maths degree, and that looks very good for you. Or you may find as you do your degree that you enjoy something. So I don't tend to worry about that too much, because I know that I'm on the right track, and by working hard, I should be all right.